Hey there, it's Casey. I'm the host of the How to Trade It podcast and the founder of tradingstrategyguides.com. And today I have a weekly analysis for you, a breakout trade on SHIB USD. Okay, this is one I've been following for a long time. And a couple things I want to break down. I'm going to do a complete breakdown video here. So the first thing is this is a weekly candle, right? Weekly candles are great for longer term trades. Of course, you can always break down and do short term trades and use a weekly candle as a guide. That's what I like to do. But anyways, this is a breakout. So what we're going to notice is we have a trend line right here. Okay, so that's number one. Number one is a big TL. Okay, number one, trend line break. Now, next thing I want to notice and identify here is that we have a 10 period moving average. Okay, so the next thing, a 10 period moving average and a breakout. Okay, you see how that breakout is? That's a very powerful breakout right there. All right, now so we had the trend line break, the 10 moving average break. Another thing that I want you to pay attention to is this is what is called a bullish engulfing candle. It took out the highs. It took out the highs of this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, and this candle. So that's very strong and took out the highs of the previous 5 weeks. It basically did over a month of highs right here. Did a month of highs right there, okay, in 1 week. So that's very bullish, right? It means a lot of sellers are getting taken out and a lot of buyers are jumping on board. Very bullish. Now, so that's the third thing. So we have that. The next, I want to also pull back a little bit here and look at the RSI. So when I'm trading, I'm trying to build a case, right? I'm trying to find as many things that I can lock in that will work in favor. And the more things that I have, the better the trade, right? If I can only find 2 things, that's not good enough. If I can find 3 things, not good enough. I want to find 4 or 5 things to really help me out along here. Okay, now, also RSI. So you'll notice we have an RSI downtrend here. You see how it's just struggling, struggling, struggling. And then what we had is it popped out and we had a really strong breakout right there. Okay. So the RSI has turned the corner. It's turned the corner and the current RSI is at 47. It's at 47 and it's getting ready to cross up. So we're getting a breakout here on the RSI. Okay. Now let's also look a couple other things because we want to continue to build this case. Oops. We want to build this case here. So we do have a trend line. We have a trend line. Let's see if I can add an actual trend line on a weekly chart right there. Okay. Now that is not broken yet. So we could still get resistance. So there is also some things we got to worry about, right? And we also have some resistance right here. However, if this trend line break, we could see a move like that. And we have another key resistance right there, right? We have another key resistance around the 17, 18 level. And, I get it. My drawings are not great. Okay, my drawings aren't great, but you get the idea. Do your own research here. I'm just giving you some idea, but this is powerful. Now, you'll notice that it hasn't closed above this 10 in a long time. In a long time. This is the 10 EMA. It hasn't closed above it. The last time we tried, it faked hard and it was another short. Okay. Another thing that we're looking at here is we're building right here low and then this low. So what is this called? This is called higher lows, higher lows. So when we get higher lows, we might come back up and then down, and then we create another higher low, right? And when we start seeing higher lows, we get an uptrend developing. So a way we could try to get this for a short-term trade would be right up here. Okay, right up there. And then if it comes back down, then we could try to get another one, right? And so there's two ways you could trade it. You could take one trade here, take profit, and then try to get it in again, or you could just hold, buy, hold it through the dip, and then add to your position. Either way, however your long-term analysis is here, but the thing that is attractive about this is these moves are pretty big. Like just in the last week here on this pair, we're looking at a 25% growth rate. We're looking at 25% ROI, right? So if it gets back up here, that could be another 25%. So that's a nice return on your investment. And I'm always looking for good high return reward. Now, on a fundamental side, I do look at this on a fundamental side. This is very popular. And something that I discovered here, and I actually posted it on my Twitter account. So I'm going to pull my Twitter up here. And I was reaching out to an expert on SHIB, and his name is the Shiba Inu currency. His name's the Bus. He's a friend of mine that I connect with on social media. And I pointed this out, and that is, and this is kind of a mystery here, but the circulate, and if anyone has any answers to this, let me know in the comment. But the circulating supply here, and this was December 1st, right? So I want you to note December 1st, I did a little research, right? I think doing some research is important. December 1st, this particular circulating supply was 549 trillion and 52 billion. Okay. And the total supply was 589 trillion and 736 billion. Okay. That was December 1st. Now let's go ahead and notice the difference here. This is what I've looked at today. So today the circulating supply went from 549.63 to 549.52. So the circulating supply has actually increased. And what I believe that means is that people who have staked, because you can go and stake your crypto, they've unstaked it, which adds to the circulating supply. That's what I believe has happened there. Now, we're also going to notice here that the max supply, the total supply here, went from 589,736 to 589,735. So effectively, in the last not quite a year, about 11 months, we have burned 1 billion SHIB, right? And so what that means is that it's been taken out of circulation, which means it's more rare. Now, for the price for this to really continue, we're going to need to see that drop even more, but also demand. If demand increases, this could still go up, but it's a supply and demand issue. So if supply shrinks, it's not automatically going to go up. There's got to be a supply and also a demand. So right now we have a very small reduction of 1 billion and obviously an increase of demand, which is what's caused this price to increase. So that's what I'm looking at. So be on the lookout, right? Be on the lookout. So another possible trade idea here is one thing that I like, and I've learned this from one of, many people have taught me this, but most recently, Jeremy Newsom from Real Life Trading was sharing that if you get a break above the moving average, wait for a pullback, and then when it breaks that high again. Okay, let me redraw this with a better looking pin. So if this breaks down and we get a red candle on a weekly, let's say next week, like that, we'll assume that's red. Okay. And then it comes back out and then it breaks that high. That's a great entry. It's also very similar to a pattern that I teach on my website, Trading Strategy Guides, which is called the hot dog pattern, which means you just basically get a pullback and then a breakup. So if we get some kind of pullback and then a breakup, if you want to be more patient, you could enter in that way. All right. And of course, as always, this isn't advice. This is just for educational purposes, trying to educate you. And be on the lookout for my YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing some interesting stuff here. I love to hear your comments on what you think about this video, but in the future, I'm looking at possibly starting a $1 million account that I'm going to be trading live on YouTube. And if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know about that, because the more feedback I get, the more willing I would be to take some crazy risks online, and not crazy, but do some things that put a little bit of pressure on me. I'm I'm not going to take crazy risks. I'm not going to do that for views. That's just stupid, but it is added pressure, right? It's pressure trying to trade in front of people, especially with that kind of a volume. But if there's a demand for it and the people think that it would be worth it, then I would be willing to do it. All right. Well, that's it for today's video. Please hit the like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm always looking for feedback because I want to educate and inspire and help people make weekly cash flow in the markets. Thank you.